Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is Tuesday, December 13th, 2011. We are in Luke chapter 8, verse 12. The ones along the path are those who have heard. Actually, let's go back to verse 11. Now the parable is this. The seed is the word of God. The ones along the path are those who have heard. Then the devil comes and takes away the word from their hearts, so that they may not believe and be saved. And the ones on the rock are those who, when they hear the word, receive it with joy. But these have no root. They believe for a while, and in time of testing fall away. And as for what fell among the thorns, they are those who hear, but as they go on their way, they are choked by the cares and riches and pleasures of life, and their fruit does not mature. As for that in the good soil, they are those who, hearing the word, hold it fast in an honest and good heart, and bear fruit with patience. You can summarize all of this by saying you can tell a good heart, one that responds to the Word of God correctly, by how long does it last. Having trouble with my collar. Well, let's don't worry about my collar right now. How long does it last? It lasts a little bit. Wasn't a good heart. It lasts a little bit longer, but when trouble comes, wasn't a good heart. But it lasts even a little bit longer, but then gets choked out by other things, wasn't a good heart. It lasts through the good times and the bad times, the storms of life that we talked about a few days ago, can deal with the worries of life, can deal with persecutions, can deal with ups and downs and a lot of downs and a few more ups. That's a good heart. So, which one are you? That's the question. If you're watching this broadcast, and you've been watching for a while, most likely, I'm just guessing, most likely, you've got a good heart. Because you want the Word of God. And you want to practice the Word of God. Some of you, you clicked on a few things on the computer, you're watching this for the first time, and you'll click off and you'll forget what you heard and you'll never come back. You don't have a good heart. That's a heart Satan can easily just take that word right out. Some of you, you hear some things on here, you get really excited, but then when you see the price that you got to pay to live the Word of God, when you realize you got to be willing to endure criticism from your friends, or perhaps change a job because it's not godly, or get out of some relationships. You say, it's too much trouble. I kind of like my life the way it is. So you don't last. There's some of you, you might stick around a few years, maybe a decade, but eventually, money, the mighty dollar, takes over. You gotta have the money. Either you're worried about money, or you're trying to make more money. You're working 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week when you don't have to. You're not even thinking about spending time with God. You're not even thinking about spending time in His Word, or helping out more at church, or teaching your kids in a devotional. It's all about money. Not a good heart. If you've been around a while, you've been through hell and high water, and you're still standing, you're producing some fruit, my friend. And I can tell you, it is good to know, and it's good to see what a joy it is. After 30 years, I can see people. I went down to Orlando not that long ago, met somebody that I'd led to the Lord. Who knows how many people he led to the Lord. I know my sister watches this broadcast. I was able to lead her to the Lord, and I've stayed faithful, and she stayed faithful, and she's led many people to the Lord, producing fruit. She's still doing it in California. She's done it in Mexico. She's done it in Boston. She's done it in Orlando. She's done it in South Florida. Literally. I mean, I'm not sure if you counted them all up. I'm sure it would now number in the thousands of people. It says here you could do 100. Listen, you can do thousands. It's better than Amway or any marketing plan. But you got to stay faithful. You hang in there. It's called residual income. They call it in the business field, but it's residual fruit, because everybody I've led that has stayed faithful is still leading other people. And hopefully I'm having a positive impact on some folks here and with my kids, and I'm going to keep doing it. That's a good heart. We don't get choked out. We don't get stomped out. We don't get put down. If we do, we get right back up. And we're just going to keep bearing fruit. Now, we'll go through seasons where we don't, because God's doing something with us. And we come out of those seasons, guess what? We're more fruitful. And not just that kind of fruit, but we're getting more loving, and we're getting more joyful, and we're getting more patient, and more kind, and more gentle, and more faithful. Hey, you come back tomorrow for the next edition of Take 5.